Hey everyone, I'm here today to bring you a review of what I think is one of the best shoes for everyday use, whether you be going to the gym, to work, or even running. I just got back from a 2-week trip to Germany and Iceland where I wore these Xero shoes every day, all day, including a trip up a glacier, and they exceeded every single one of my expectations. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and if you're new, then welcome. As you may or may not know, I focus on bringing you honest, unsponsored reviews, free of filler and bullshit, and this review will be no different. In fact, I'll give you the review summary right up front. This is an amazing minimalistic shoe offering fantastic ground feel, amazing comfort, and a decent build quality, all at an affordable price. If you're looking for an everyday, minimalistic, do-it-all shoe that won't break the bank, then the Xero Prio will have you covered, and I cannot recommend it enough. However, before you go off and you buy the Xero Prio and click out of this video and screw up my metrics, I would like to explain why I think this is an amazing shoe in detail, as well as go over some of the negatives and some of the things to have in mind before you purchase the Xero shoe, because there are a few things to watch out for, especially with these minimalistic shoes. As always, I have detailed timestamps in the video description below, so feel free to jump around, find that info that you need, but I'd like to get started with fit and feel. The fit and feel is exactly what I'd want out of a minimalistic shoe, providing excellent ground support, but also a little bit of cushion when needed. This is due to a very thin 5.5mm rubber sole paired with this optional 3mm cushioned insole. I actually really like this 3.3mm cushioned insole. It's very lightweight. As you can see here, it's actually perforated. You can see right through it. This is amazing. You put it in the shoe if you want a little bit of extra support, if you want that extra ground feel, or maybe you're wearing a thick pair of socks and need some extra room. You take it out, you don't even worry about it, and the shoe feels amazing with or without it. Each shoe weighs in at 9 ounces, which is on the lighter end for an everyday trainer, but about average for a minimalistic shoe. It's essentially a thick piece of rubber with a protective upper, and that's what you're getting out of a minimalistic shoe. In fact, if you look at Xero's website, they advertise the Prio as having the exact same sole as their very popular Z-Trek sandal, and they advertise the Prio as being as close to a minimalistic sandal as you can get without actually being a sandal. Being a wearer and advocate for minimalistic sandals, I can say that they absolutely nailed the mark on this claim and they stay true to their word. I should also note that I have my pair outfitted with lock laces. These lock laces, they are absolutely amazing. They allow me to slide the shoe on and off very easily. I wear them pretty loose, but they can also be cinched much tighter if needed. I will say that I think these add to the comfort, at least in my experience with the Xero Prio shoe, but they are by no means a necessity. I have them on all my shoes. I just find them very comfortable. Personally, I like them, so check them out. The toe box is not entirely mesh, it's only in the top part. The front part is actually a very rigid material. This threw me off, and I gotta say, I didn't really like it at first. All of my running shoes, all of my ultra shoes, they have mesh toe boxes. This not only allows for really good breathability, but also comfort, and it also allows a shoe that can fit a little tighter, but also allows your toes to splay a bit more due to that mesh upper. The downside to an all mesh upper, like in all of my running shoes, is that once your toe breaks through that mesh, you can try to sew it shut, but it's always gonna rip open again, and once you have a hole in that upper mesh, the shoe's done and you gotta trash it. The Xero Prios, with their construction, your toe is not gonna break through this material, and it's actually rigid and strong enough to where it's gonna protect your toes, knocking against a weight, kicking a rock, doing clumsy stuff like I usually do. So this upper, it's not only gonna extend the life of the shoe, it's also gonna protect your toes as well. Additionally, there are some vent holes in this shoe. I'll put a close-up of that on the screen right now. These do an okay job of venting the shoe. It's not great. Your toes are still gonna get hot. I do wish these holes were either much larger or there were much more of them. My last negative on the toe box is I wish it was, a bit rounder, right on the toes here, maybe a little bit out by that big toe. Like I said, the material is pretty rigid, your toes can't splay as much. That's not saying that the Xero Prio constricts the toes at all. I just wish there was a little bit of extra room there. However, the only downside to that would be that if the shoe was just round up front, wide in the middle, it would look like a total clown shoe. It would look ridiculous. And I think the Xero Prio actually looks pretty slick as is, so it's a trade-off that ultimately I'm happy with what they did with the shoe. I wouldn't change it, but sometimes I do wish I had a little more room in those toes, but hey, you can't have it all. The midfoot, oh man, the midfoot is why I get excited about this shoe. It's so wide, it's so comfortable. I think it's why this shoe feels so amazing on my foot and why I'm so excited to do this review. It is so spacious. Most other closed-toed shoes, they hug that midfoot, they constrict it to keep it attached to your foot. Not the Prio. This shoe uses this lacing system similar to like a minimalistic sandals lacing system, where it wraps around the back of the shoe, the side of the shoe, the laces connect to it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I thought this was gimmicky at first and I thought it looked pretty goofy. Didn't really like it. After trying these shoes out in the field, after wearing them for a few weeks constantly, I'm a believer. This next statement's gonna seem kind of like an oxymoron, but the Xero Prio is loose yet secure. I think this is due to that lacing system. It doesn't feel tight in any one spot, but it feels secure all over your foot, if that makes any sense. So I'm a big fan of this system. I'm a big fan of the fit and feel. You can probably tell I'm quite excited about it. The way the midfoot feels, the way it just feels overall on your foot, incredible. I love it, highly recommend. The traction, on the other hand, it's a bit of a letdown. On grass, dirt, concrete, it feels absolutely fine. It sticks well, you have good footing. On wetter surfaces, on wet rocks, in the rain, it does feel a little slippery. The Xero Prio, it's gonna last a really long time, but it is a little bit slick on those surfaces, so it's just something to watch out for. I need to make a quick clarification here. When I say it doesn't have good traction and it's slippery, I mean on trails, on when the shoe's dirty, on rocks, that kind of scenario where you could use a deeper traction in the shoe and actually have a better grip. Xero actually states that these shoes are suitable for non-slip surfaces. So if you're a nurse, a cafeteria worker, any profession where you're at a job site that requires a non-slip shoe, the Xero Prio and I think all the Xero shoes should have you covered there. What I'm talking about in terms of slippery and bad traction is more on a trail environment, on surfaces where, like I said, they get muddy, you step on a rock and they kind of slip off due to a lack of traction, not necessarily grip. To summarize the overall fit and feel, I need to tell you an anecdote, a little story. It's gonna be quick, I promise. I'm someone who will kick my shoes off at any point in the day. I'm at work, I'll kick them off. I'm driving in a car, I'm gonna kick them off. In Germany, I found myself wearing the Xero Prio shoes 8, 10, 12, 13 hours a day, and I didn't take them off once. Not in a car ride, not on the train, not on the plane. I'm sure the other passengers on the plane really appreciated me not taking my shoes off, but the point is that I would wear these shoes all day, and not till we got to our hotel at night that I realized that I've been wearing these things for 13, 14 hours, and I haven't taken them off once. And not only that, my feet are not uncomfortable. They're not, aching, they're not sore. As I mentioned, the shoe always felt loose fitting but secure, so I never had to cinch it too tight, so there were never any pressure points on my foot. It's simply a shoe that you can forget that you're wearing, and many companies make this claim, but few actually deliver. And Xero is one of those companies that have delivered on that claim. The build quality is great at this price point, especially when you realize that these shoes are made in China, where you can sometimes see the quality suffer for quick manufacturing and lower cost of goods. As I mentioned, the sole is a very hard piece of rubber with some deep traction, and after about a month of wearing it, 2 weeks of which were all day, every day, I noticed the usual amount of wear and tear that I'd expect out of this sort of material. If I had to hazard a guess, I would probably say that you could put at least 1,000 miles on these shoes before the traction completely wore down, and probably many, many more after that until the shoe was completely useless and eaten through. So while editing this review, I actually found out that Xero offers a 5,000 mile warranty for the soles of the Prio and some of their other shoes. That's quite incredible, and I'm not sure if I believe it. It wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, I think the shoe would probably wear out in other places before the sole by the time you hit 5,000 miles. If you've had any pairs of shoes that have gone over 1,000 miles, you know that something's gonna rip, tear, come apart. The build quality is quite good, as I'll go into, but I think before 5,000 miles, I think something else is gonna happen before those soles wear through. But it's still pretty cool that they offer that warranty. And yeah, if you've hit 5,000 miles on your Xero shoes and you've got new ones, please let me know. The stitching and bonding is of excellent quality in my opinion, and I've seen much worse quality out of much more expensive shoes. The bonding is uniform all around the shoe. If you move the shoe around, if you really try to separate it, it looks good all the way around both shoes. The stitching is very tight, very consistent. There's no threads poking out. I'm very surprised to see no threads poking out here and there. I'm used to, with shoes and clothes, cutting the little threads off constantly. absolutely no threads coming out with these Xero shoes. Very, very good stitching, very good bonding. Now, there are a few items I want to go over before you buy a pair of these Xero Prio shoes. Despite my praise of them, they might not be for you. My first question is, are you experienced with minimalistic footwear? No, I'm not talking about those thong sandals you wear, the reef sandals or the rainbows. Those actually have a bit of a drop in the heel, and they actually are quite padded compared to these shoes. Not very padded, but you're gonna notice the difference. Me personally, I'm someone that wears these Earth Runner sandals all day, every day when I'm not at work, whenever I can get away with wearing open-toed shoes. I can wear these for 12, 13, 14 hours a day. My Achilles feels fine, calves feel fine, my feet feel good, and this is not a brag at all. This is to give you a baseline of what you can expect. When I first started wearing minimalistic shoes, when I first started wearing these sandals, it would be about an hour or two before my feet started cramping up, my Achilles was hurting, I had calf and hamstring fatigue. Just the entire posterior chain gets changed when you go to zero drop, and additionally when your feet and your metatarsals have to work a little bit extra to support you. So before you go off and you get a pair of Xero shoes, I just want to make sure you guys are aware that you can't go from your Brooks, your Nikes, your Sauconys, and toss on a pair of Xero Prio shoes and do the same amount of miles that you're doing right now, or walk all day the same amount you are now. I'm just telling you this so you don't buy them, wear them on a trip to Disney World one weekend, and get injured and go blame Mike for selling you some bullshit shoe that injured you. So just be aware of that. The break-in period is something else that I wasn't quite aware of when I got these shoes. Most of the shoes I wear, those cushion tennis shoes with the mesh upper, you put them on, that's how they're gonna feel forever. There may be some break-in period, but for the most part, that's how they're gonna feel 1 week, 2 weeks, 6 months from now. The Xero Prio shoes, they took about a week to break in. The Toebox and the Midfoot actually stretched out just a little bit. I did say that it is this rugged non-mesh material, but this material actually gave a little bit of stretch after about a week of wearing it. I was very, very pleased to hear that. Partially because when I first bought these shoes, I bought a size 10.5 and 11 because I'm usually a size 10.5 in almost every shoe known to man. I got the 11s. I really liked how the midfoot felt, but that toe box, it was way too long. My toes were way back here. They did not fit. So I decided to go with the 10.5, which the toes felt good, but it felt a little snugger than I wanted to in that midfoot. Lo and behold, 1 week later, I'm walking around. All of a sudden I realize, oh wow, the toe box is way looser than what I originally felt. The midfoot is way more roomy. And I realized that, okay, this is one of the shoes that needs a break-in period. So my advice to you is to get your true size in the shoe when you're ordering them. If you're a 10.5, get a 10.5. If you're 12, get a 12. And if your toes feel good, but the midfoot feels a little tight, give it a week. It's gonna loosen up. It's gonna have a little bit more room, and you're gonna be really happy with that fit. In summary, the Xero Prio is an extremely comfortable shoe. It can take a beating, and it comes in at a very, very reasonable price point. The other barefoot shoe that I was looking at before buying the Xero Prio was the Vivo Barefoot, and man, that shoe looks slick. The reviews are amazing, but I could not justify spending $160 on a shoe that's essentially a piece of rubber with a protective upper. I don't know why those shoes cost so much. They're probably incredible. I'm certain I'm gonna buy a pair probably in the near future because they look so cool. But I was going on my trip. I needed a shoe, a closed-toed shoe that I could walk around every day, kick off when I needed to. And I'm extremely happy I went with the Xero Prio because, as I mentioned, extremely comfortable. They have held up very nicely, and the price point is it's too good to pass up. To reiterate my summary at the beginning of this review, if you want an everyday do-it-all minimalistic trainer at a reasonable price, I cannot recommend the Xero Prio enough, and I'm gonna be wearing these shoes for quite a long time. So that's my review. I hope you stuck with me all the way, and I hope you found this helpful. If I didn't cover any features that you're interested in, please leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. I also asked that if you've had any positive experience with any other types of barefoot style shoes, please leave some suggestions and comments down below as well. I'm always looking for new shoes to try, new shoes to review, so any of your experiences would be greatly appreciated. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I can't wait to see you do something amazing.